our second time rolling with this, and last year we had all internal candidates, all women, but we want to expand that to have a discussion for you guys today about a women's world in sports and to highlight some of these great women that are going to be speaking to you today. We hope that you don't just learn something from these women today, but you are inspired from their stories and their whole life in the world of sports.
I also love that everyone here played at least 3 sports. Same, right? And it's not that, there hasn't been that long in American history, human history, but definitely American history, where women, A, were allowed to play sports, B, were encouraged to play sports. So first, that's awesome. Second, now we're all in roles working in sports. How can we continue to develop women into roles in which have historically been held by men? We're all here now, but how do we keep moving that forward?
What helped me develop was my bosses giving me a chance to step into a leadership role. And they really opened up a space to give me opportunities to increase my confidence, to improve my communication skills, to improve my critical thinking skills. And when we're an opportunity to sit at the table and to speak up and to offer my thoughts and opinions. So I would definitely say one of the ways to keep building women is to give them opportunities. Let them make mistakes and learn on their own. Don't do everything for them. Trust me, you have, I'm sure, a lot of superstars sitting in this room. Allow them a chance.
Obviously, we've established there's no height requirement to work in the NBA. But so like literally and figuratively, when I walk into a room with my counterparts or colleagues, I am overlooked. Marketing has often been held by females in this role, but we're brand builders, but in support of driving revenue. I make sure I'm fully prepared to deliver against my marketing campaigns from an analytics standpoint and directly attributable revenue to what my team is doing. And marketing is the one who creates all the platforms, all the executions that go out into this digital world. So we're very collaborative, but I'm very well validated in the fact that they couldn't do it without us.
Just because I got my guys here, so I got to give a shout out, to all the men in the room. We can't do this without you being a strong ally. So I just wanted to thank you so much. When I have a seat at the table, they turn to me and they say, Jill, what do you think? And if you don't have that, just be patient. Like we all talk about, stay ready, you know your stuff. You do all the stuff behind the scenes, and there's going to be a moment, I promise you, I've been there. There's going to be a moment when a topic's gonna come up and nobody else in the room's gonna have an answer but you. And that's your time. And then from that moment on, everybody's gonna start coming to you. So hang in there.
The piece of advice I would give it, take other opportunities, right? Go visit, and this is something that we talk about at our institution. I may not be able to send you everywhere because I may not be able to afford to, but there are 200 schools within a 4-hour radius. Like, just go visit, go make a connection, reach out. And I think that's one thing that's another way you can build your network.
Kristen, can you sort of talk about how you've also been able to rely on others' advice, or even just forge your own path whenever you're one of 5 in a room?
I think it's good to have a good network of people that you can rely on for that advice and get or feedback, depending on whatever the topic is, and you have some of your go-tos, whether it's actual mentors, whether it's colleagues, all of the above. And then typically I'll take that and you kind of take it in and think it through, and then sometimes it's already the path that's been taken and well taken, and that makes the most sense, and maybe sometimes that doesn't make the most sense and you do need to forge your own and start fresh. And obviously that can be very challenging, but I think there are times that whatever it is, it requires that, and that's the right thing to do. At the same time, I don't want to just do that just to do it. Like if whatever it is working and we want to continue down the same path, there's no point in making it more difficult and starting fresh, unless it makes sense to do that. So I definitely a combo for sure. And I think one thing, again, back to mentors in general, kind of along with this topic, is it's nice to have those people that you can bounce ideas off of and get that advice and get that help. And at the same time, I have had a couple mentors that have also provided that feedback that might not be feedback that you really are looking for, or it may be it may not be the best thing to hear at the time, but in the long run, like looking back now, I'm like, oh yeah, that did make sense, and that really helped. So I think it's nice to have those mentors that can kind of help you along the way, whether it's good and sometimes maybe sharing a little bit of negative info that might be a blind spot that can help you continue to grow.
So like mentorship, to like seek out a mentor was always a challenge for me, or to be a formal mentor to a mentee was always a challenge. So I try to just be available, and we have a very open and inclusive culture in that way. So I try to be just an available person that at any point in time you can pop in, and I'm willing to share sort of my perspective. But I like to just sort of be available.
You also happen to be a mom, right?
Yeah.
How old are your kids?
All right, so I have 4 kids. Yeah. So, okay. All right, you just wait. You ready? So I have 2 sets of twins.
You're gonna blow Jill's mind right now.
Wait, Jill. And they're all girls. So it's very emotional at our house. All right. So here's the thing. As a mom, as an identity piece, that's one of my identities. It's literally all the validation I need to take on my day. Because for all you moms out there, I'm sure there's some great dads in the audience as well, so shout out to you. There's a lot I do before 8 a.m. that I'm like, if you had any idea, and I can manage a lot. I'm managing doctor's appointments and schedules and 6 school activities because all my kids are super active. I get to the office, I'm like, this is, woo, relax. You know, like put my feet up. But it is one of those things where it's like, bring on the day. There's more important things that are going on outside of these 4 walls. So it's really all the validation I need to own that piece of who I am.
We're in the people business. I mean, let's face it, pretty much every business is a people business. So if you want to be able to connect with people, you got to understand them, understand their culture. I mean, just the foods they eat. You know, you really have an appreciation for people. So that has probably been the biggest thing that has cultivated I'm already a natural empathetic person, but it's definitely helped me forge my ability to forge relationships.
Everyone's trying to chase down the next title or the next place. In our industry, everybody wants to be an AD. Well, take a look at what's in your portfolio right now and do it really, really well. And those next opportunities will happen. But when you just start chasing the next title, sometimes we forget the things that are already in our portfolio and we don't do a really good job. And then it's really hard for those that you work with to recommend you.
What is your proudest moment? Or proudest, that's hard. What is a extremely proud moment you've had in sports, working in sports, where you just thought, hell yeah, this is awesome. This is great. Myself, or my team, or whatever it is. Proud moment. Jill, you ready for this one?
Well, yeah, I'm ready for that.
All right.
I mean, that's going to the NFC Championship game.
Heck yeah.
That was amazing.
Cool.
All that hard work, because let me tell you, it is a lot of hard work. But just to see it all play off, on the field and have that level of success with our new coaching staff and give Miss Sheila, she came down the locker room, was so happy. So definitely was a moment of reflection.
For me, I was lucky in the 2003-04 season. I worked year-round basketball, and the Pistons did it first, which was great. They won an NBA championship, as maybe some of you know. But the best part was the following 6 months, our WNBA team, the Detroit Shock, also won a championship. And there's just something about a W-like environment. It's, the families and the kids. Everybody had this expectation of how big the NBA championship was going to be. I mean, our W game sold out. It was a packed house. And to sort of see that many people in the city rally around, like our W team, actually Rebecca was there. Shout out, Rebecca. It was just an incredible, proud moment. I get goosebumps thinking about just how loud that arena was for, women. So it was pretty powerful. Pretty proud of that moment.
Very cool.
I definitely have a couple, and they're all kind of around events, but hosting a Super Bowl here was awesome, and having the opportunity to work Super Bowls has been really cool, growing up watching that stuff. I was a basketball player, so Final Four that we had in 2009, and the fact that Michigan State was here and getting to be on the court and everything for a few minutes, that was pretty amazing. But I will say, getting to host 2 playoff games this year after working for the organization for 20 plus years, and we've had some really cool games in the stadium, and the atmosphere is pretty amazing. And I'd say nothing can top probably the Rams game, but nothing can top those 2 home playoff games. It was absolutely amazing, so exciting for the city.
Being on the field and how many hours was it before the game even started?
Yeah,
and you
we
could
opened
feel the
a long
energy.
time.
I'm a big energy person, and holy moly, it was incredible. And then everybody shouting Jared Goff. Like as soon as doors opened, it was incredible. So you guys did a fantastic job.
That was pretty awesome, and hopefully we have a few more things that will top that soon. Maybe hosting a championship game, but it was very cool, and hats off to everybody in the room, because that's a team effort for everything that we have to do on our side, and thankful that we have such a great team, and so very exciting. So hopefully more things like that to come.
So thank you. Let's give them a round of hand. There we go.